Hey guys, Brian here with Sound Yeti. Today I just wanted to do a little tutorial kind of like tip video for you guys, for the composers out there. But also stay tuned at the end. We have a sneak peek of something that is coming soon, the next installment in the Revelation series. So stay tuned at the end for a little sneak peek into that. See you guys. So let's check out the track. Again, I use a lot of different sounds here. You can look over here. That's Revelation Fusion Harp. That's Revelation Scoring Grand, Ambition, Collision Effects, Deviate, Method 1, even. These hits are from Collision Effects. And then I have some free instruments down here. Project Sam, Free Orchestra, and Spitfire Audio BBC, Symphony Orchestra Discover. These are free sounds that you can get. So if you are hearing the strings in here and you want to make a trailer style track and you have these libraries but you don't have strings, right here, Spitfire, BBC Discover, and Project Sam Free Orchestra 1. This is Free Orchestra 1. They have Free Orchestra 2 now as well. Totally free, and you can get some cool string sounds from those. Let's check out the track, and then I'll go into some tips and structure and layering and all that cool stuff. Okay, so overall, it's a fairly basic trailer style track. Um, let's see what it starts with. The ping. Okay, lots of it's. I'll talk about a lot of trailer cliches here, and one of them is a ping, and this is a preset called Breathing Ping Dark. This is one that I made, and it sounds like this. So many trailers start off with a ping like that, or they'll start off with some low rumbly sound design, and then they'll have this, and it will coincide with the visuals. A big character shot or reveal, atmosphere, landscape will appear with the ping, or words, something like that. I know you're all familiar with that. Now, there's a few different layers down here of collision effects. You'll notice a lot of layering, though 34 tracks isn't that much. So let's check out what's going on here with collision effects. Now, remember I said like a lot of trailers have kind of low rumbly sound effects and just kind of building atmosphere and stuff. Now, collision effects is really good for this kind of stuff. Now, this patch, if we go to collision effects themes, this is called Trailer Jumpstart Master. Now, this was our first library, so I'll be the first to admit to you the mapping needs some work, and that's actually something that people in our team have been working on, is kind of doing a collision effects update, possibly collision effects 2. No 100% promises, but it is something that we're very aware of. So these sounds are mapped all across the keys, okay? And you can go in to this mapping editor and you see them named there. And so you'll see there are different sounds mapped to each different key, right? We also have destruction, there's distortion, saturation, shimmer, and then this depth here. Okay, so you can get delays and then reverb all here within the GUI on this main panel. You can also reverse the sample just by clicking that. We also have a sculpting tool with these filters, EQ and compressor, saturation, distortion, all these different effects here. And then finally the space, the reverb, convolution, stuff like that. Now, I'll show you what I used here. This is on C0. It's like this low pulsing, clunky kind of dark atmosphere. And these right here, it sounds like a heartbeat to me. If you don't have headphones or subwoofer, that's very, very faint. It's more of a sub-bass type thing. So I just establish atmosphere with the ping and these dark. The ping by itself is fine. But I wanted something, we have the high frequency, mid frequency there. I wanted something in the low frequency. Remember, trailers are often viewed in theaters, of course, or with really nice sound speakers in a home theater. And people love bass, okay? People love bass. I have a subwoofer myself in my car. I love bass. I don't like it in the studio, but I will mix on headphones to hear the sub bass and stuff like that. People love it. So a lot of that stuff is good. You'll notice right now there is no meter either. So like this last 4 bars, but these aren't, going on a fairly steady. They're just kind of randomly happening. They're not on a hard quantized sequence like 4/4 or something like that. So you see we have these hits as well. Again, this is Trailer Jumpstart. So we have those hits there as well, which are great. So already with just 2 layers, we're starting to get some cool stuff. Now, ambition. I have an ambition lead here, which sounds like this. And this modulation controls the LFO. You could hear it starts off kind of static and then it gets that wobbly type sound. You watch, it corresponds with that. This is really, really great for some kind of erratic movement. Okay? So So we get that going. We have another ambition pad here. And by the way, that ambition lead is welcome to ambition. I might have changed like the sound sources or something like that. It's basically an initial preset, but you can do some cool things with just the LFO. Another ambition pad. This is textures in the dirt. Now, just like we added erratic movement with the LFO on that ambition lead, this I'm doing unique things with the pitch bend. Pitch bends are great for trailers, okay? There's also some saturation there on the instrument itself, okay? So we've got these few different layers, just like 4 layers right now. It's already, building a really solid foundation. Now those hits from the one trailer jumpstart that we looked at here, those have been doubled here. Okay, so this one has a little bit more processing on it. It adds to the slam of those hits. Now we have a fairly steady meter coming in, as you can notice. It kind of builds a momentum, fairly simple 4/4, and the rhythm is driving it forward at this point. Now, again, we can hear how that lead, the wobbly LFO, and the pitch bend together, along with the hits, really add to that kind of eerie atmosphere. So that would, again, simple as modulating the LFO. And I want to keep that constantly moving. So if I had it just like consistently... So if we had that wobble or the LFO just at one consistent point, I mean, it's fine, but to add the movement into it kind of adds this inertia, this flux to it that keeps your mind interested in what's going to happen next. Now, after the hits, I know there is sort of a Braam here. And then I also added this. More just kind of dark, creepy sounds to kind of flesh out and just add texture to that. Because we have the foundation now, I'm just adding texture and polish to it. And there's our big Braam. Now another hint, just for writing library music or trailers in general, I kept this is fairly simple. This is one instance of collision effects. See, I have all these different layers. This right here would probably correspond with something happening on the screen. You know, a character glances sideways, looks behind them, sees something, and then it fades back to black. Or we have a different word pop up on the screen. Think of a trailer. And so you would export all of these as stems. They could use this and place it wherever they needed in the editing room. So it wouldn't just be stuck at that one place, right? I just added it here just to add to the momentum of the song. But keeping it simple for stems like this would be a great idea. And then that big Braam again. I love this sound. And that sound is, again, in Trailer Jumpstart Master. You notice I have a lot of different instances of this. So I can send these as stems to the music library or trailer house, whatever you may submit it to your publisher, and they'll be able to sculpt the perfect trailer track out of it. The more options, the better. And then I've also got some hits down here. So let's look, one of these is an audio file. I bounce something to audio. So what I've done is, one of those, I've put a filter and a compressor on it, multiband compressor. And then the other one, I've just duplicated it, and I've added a third-party saturation plugin just to make it sound bigger. Again, layering is the key with trailer style songs. And then we start to get this sound here. Sorry, this sound here. I absolutely love this sound. I probably use it too much, okay? This is in Cinevision, and it's called, in Deeper Spaces, it's called Bass Growling Bear. And if you remember with Deviate, we have different parameters kind of mapped to the form, the voltage and flow here. Meaning that you can do, cool things with just a low-pass cutoff filter, a low-pass filter and the cutoff, modulating that. But we get cooler results by using the voltage, which will change, I said form, it will change position and form of the wavetable, as well as these different, you see the distortion and saturation is changing as well. Okay, so let's listen to that. And we'll see in the, this is the voltage control being modulated. So it just, makes it sound very lively, and we can, you get some really cool stuff doing that. We've got ambition, a lot of collision effects, the scoring grand ping, and then we also have the harp here. Yes, a harp. A harp in a trailer song. So the things I love about Revelation is you can get these really cool pulses. Again, things you would have never considered using a harp for. It adds great kind of ambient underscore even to a very aggressive song like this. Deviate lead here. That lead is called Pads Nebulous, and then we have added a second lead over here. Again, same exact pad, just doing a little bit different things. Again, making use of that pitch bend. Then we also hear that there's more distortion on this one. So Deviate lead 1 is nice and ambient, and more of a low drone. The Deviate Lead 2 is much more aggressive. That's why I'll duplicate tracks and add different effects when I want the similar sound, but I want one to stick out more. Let's see, we have method 1 here as well. Again, you'll need headphones or a sub to hear this. It's just a kick that accents the rest of the song. And that is this kit called Sacred Deer. So again, this is all fairly simple. Once it starts going, it keeps a steady meter, a steady rhythm. It's kind of driving and kind of building up, progressing, adding more elements. You see I added even more hits here. So just making it a little bit bigger every 8 bars or so, adding a little bit more, adding that pitch bend with the distortion, adding the method 1 kick. Okay, we've got more hits, and then we'll go on to the next section. So we have this darkness swells here. So just adding more texture, atmosphere, and then more hits. So we have rises and hits there. Then we get to the sort of second part, or like the middle part, where I introduce more of a melody. So we have a little bit of a break. A transition. High textures and transitions, those with a lot of reverb, are great for transitions. Now I wanted to talk about something else. You'll see this instrument called clicks. This is in collision effects, are in stingers, okay? Now there's a lot of delay on there and a lot of reverb. I love using clicks and wooden blocks and stuff like that for percussion, okay? So we've got you'll notice they play in triplets here. It just adds, you know, kind of, again, more kind of an erratic rhythm. Some deviate bass here. This is called Pluck's Morning Vibe. So the chord change here is just right here, going from a D minor to a D flat major, okay? And those plucks are playing the same thing that the chords are, D minor to D flat major. Now this is where the free strings come in, just like cellos and violas, violins, all playing the same exact thing those plucks were. Now finally, it was missing, while they had the clicks and the cool basses and stuff like that, it was missing something which I really like from collision effects, and these are going to be these sequences. So tempo sync sequence is, we have a lot of really cool drum and percussive and even rhythmic sequences here that are going to be synced to your DAW's tempo. Okay, so like this one is called To War. So I've got some of those playing here, and it just adds that sense of rhythm and drive and urgency. So I've got one there, and then another one. And it's just going along and playing the same root notes as those chords, and you can hear the rhythmic or melodic part of that as well. So let's kind of add everything in together. You'll notice I do a little bit of volume automation here. This one had so much reverb on it. The one that bends down, you can hear it still going. So I wanted to drop the volume of that so it would not distract from the rest of the impact that everything had. Finally, just top it off with some risers, and we get an ending. Oops, forgot the final Braam. That's the best part. All right, so there you have it. Everything with Sound Yeti sounds except these strings right there. So we really just wanted to do this to kind of share insights to how we work and get library placements and stuff like that. And just tips on how to use the libraries. I love collision effects, and I wanted to also show how to get the most of it, because I admit it can be a little bit daunting to go through the menus, but a lot of really cool sounds in there, as you can hear. And hopefully you learned a little bit about layering, how to structure things. This is about this is too long. Ideally, I would want about 90 seconds and then cut this down into 30-second, 60-second, 90-second, and even 15-second versions, meaning that maybe I'll just have this very ending as just a cut and send the stems to the editor as well. So we would just have this final part. They could put this anywhere they wanted. So a lot of times you'll get just placements for just tiny little things. If you send the stems, don't put too much in one instance. For instance, if you want to have one pad that's more subdued and then one that's a little more aggressive, just simply go and duplicate the track and add whatever you want to the second one. Don't put too much in one instance, so you can easily separate it out and send stems to your publisher, and you'll get more chances to have any of your sounds used if you give them more options. So thank you guys so much. We're going to keep doing little tutorials like this because we like doing it, and we want you guys to get something out of it too. Even if you don't own Sound Yeti libraries, you can probably get something out of this. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you're looking forward to maybe a collision effects too, let us know so we can gauge interest in that as well. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time.